projects. Maybe they got it in America and they came over. I don't know. You don't really know because these things take time to gestate. Hey, all right, let's go ahead and begin. So, close your Chromebooks, would you? This is an older PowerPoint. Yes, that's true. That's true. Hey, guys and gals, so let's go ahead and begin. So today it is April the 28th, and this is going to be our last lecture until sometime next week, probably Friday, really, because we're going to do turn it. You're gonna have to stop obsessing about it. All right, so we're going to do. I don't care. So we're going to do turn-ins tomorrow for the projects, and then Friday and Monday we're going to do presentations, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday's EOC, and Friday I don't have an idea. So just pay attention to the Google Classroom. I'll send out messages, and so if you have hiccups from your other teachers, like that, just keep in mind they're probably just getting bamboozled. All right, so we're going to start talking about Central America, otherwise known as Mesoamerica. So pretty cool. I think, just thinking, it doesn't work that well for me. All right, so.
All these countries are going to go
yeah, this is actually a PowerPoint, not a slide. It's a PowerPoint that was turned into PDFs. And so I got to scroll it instead of tab over. So the countries that we say are in this region are Guatemala, Nicaragua, Belize, El Salvador, Panama, Honduras, and Costa Rica. Tax evasion. All right, so.
I've never heard of Belize.
Oh,
Really?
yeah.
It's an English-speaking country. It's on the border of Mexico and Guatemala.
Yeah, and a lot of these countries have common characteristics of a lot of jungle land.
It was the only place in Central America to be colonized by Belize.
I didn't know that. I know that there's pockets of like Argentina and Brazil where you have whole communities that only speak Italian because they all immigrated from Italy, like as a group, or like even like German, like whole towns where it's like little German town. They all
Argentina is really influenced by Europe.
They are.
The Spaniards, even though they were a lot by then, but afterwards,
Shh, guys,
y'all
y'all
got
got
some
some.
migration throughout history in Europe, Argentina, and Chile.
They really have, because like and sometimes it was religious based, sometimes it was I don't know. I was like it's and you find that sometimes you have people with like common beliefs or like we really would like to make a community the way we want to have it. So we got to do that. Now, Argentina's also been accused of having like Nazi war criminals like flee there and go hide out and stuff. So like I don't know if that's true or not though. It could be like a conspiracy thing.
Right.
But, hey Jake, you can close that
Is you really
Chromebook.
Brianna?
Y'all close the Chromebooks.
We all close.
So I can also ban the Chromebook.
I'm just trying to figure out.
Well, that's like I've asked you multiple times. You closed it in front of me and then you opened it back up.
I know
and
because
now
I
you're
was like
giving
my
me-
project. I'm trying to figure out
So,
the information for my
We're not
project.
doing that right now, buddy. We got more than one thing to do in a class.
I don't even know what my project. I don't even know what my country choice was.
Oh man, here I'll tell you after we're done with this. Yeah. All right, so moving on. Here's a little map that shows us some of these. Of course, look, don't be distracted by this. We're coming back to this later. But here you go: Belize, Guatemala, El Salvador, Honduras, Nicaragua, Costa Rica, Panama. I remember when my wife and I got married, she actually took care of a couple of preemie twins that were actually from Costa Rica. So she's kind of like their nanny, and I think they might still go to school here. But so yeah.
Do you have my study island?
Huh?
Do you have my study island?
Maybe I'd have to
It's
go check.
It's the second assignment.
I don't open Study Island every day. I opened it yesterday because a parent had questions.
So what's Cuba?
Cuba.
I
Well,
tried to do it like at midnight.
we're going to talk about Cuba when we talk about the Caribbean area. But this map, of course, has it in there. But really, these are our focus for today. It's Mesoamerican countries. All right, so landforms and climates. The mountainous core. Mountains run length of Central America. The highest are over 13,000 feet. transportation in the area is rather difficult. And that's actually true, especially like you see this area here between Colombia and Panama. This is a very, very thick jungle with a lot of nasty marshland on the base. They can't make any roads that go through here or anything. So you can't take a car from, say, like Canada and drive it all the way to South America. You could possibly walk, but this area is so thick and so dangerous. Usually it's like a wildland that's kind of left for like guerrilla fighters and like stuff like that, drug cartel people. So it's a pretty dangerous, lawless area there.
It's like hardcore Minecraft.
Okay, so
Is it just real life like hardcore Minecraft? Like, you don't
yeah,
like-
just go ahead and pick up rocks and start banging other rocks with it, and then try to put them together in a box. It doesn't work. All right, but that's okay. All right, transportation in area is difficult. 2 climate zones exist here. Between 3,000 and 6,000 feet, springtime climate year-round supports agriculture. Over 6,000 feet is cold year-round with little vegetation. So, of course, that just goes to say, if you go to a high climate, I mean, often the temperatures drop. No. You also have the Caribbean lowlands. Tropical climate is found here as well. Rainforests are common, but little agriculture is possible. I mean, now some of these areas can do agriculture like the old-fashioned slash and burn method, but that doesn't last that long. And so what you'll have then is you'll have people deforest areas through fire and macheting, and that'll temporarily put nutrients like nitrogen and stuff like that in the soil. But rainforest soil is usually rather thin, kind of like the Great Plains region of America. So you might get a couple of good crops out of it, but after that, it's depleted, and you got to move on. So it's not very effective, and that's one of the reasons why a lot of people decry the deforestation of the rainforest, because it's very good land for the rainforest, but it's not really good for sustainable agriculture, right? That long range stuff. And some parts of the rainforest are being deforested because they're not farming on it. They're actually, they'll cut it down, a lot of the wood, and they'll burn it to make charcoal. And then they can sell the charcoal for like fuel and stuff like that.
They're on illegal stuff.
Well, I mean, yeah, parts of it, yeah, for sure, without a doubt. I mean, a lot of narcotics come from more of the South American part of the world, though they are trafficked through here a bit, from my understanding.
Do you think they grow?
Xanax?
But the thing is, I think Colombia's trade's actually gone down. I think it's actually moved for surrounding reasons. I think Colombia's had a big transformation in the past 20 years from being like I think the FARC has like demilitarized mostly, and so a lot of their civil war is kind of tapered down. I think they got a clamp on some of their homegrown
Where's
government
that?
corruption.
We're watching a documentary about people
Most of
living
those
underground
are
in Colombia.
Well, yeah, they used to be bad. I remember when I was in high school, there were like videos of the death squads, and yeah, they would like go into villages, and if people didn't cooperate with the drug lords, this is bad. It's bad. I wouldn't recommend seeing that stuff. Well, so here, hey Jane, let's go ahead and have a seat. We're still lecturing. All right, so here's an example of some of the terrain you can see here. So you see it's very lush and green, very mountainous area. So, I mean, it looks pretty nice. I know the thing is, though, like you don't want to go into one of these places and just take a walk in the woods, because there are venomous snakes, spiders, and things like that you would want to have a local show you what it is. Otherwise, you wind up kind of dying. And
Our powers were.
Not really. They end up giving you these weird herbs that help you.
Well, I mean, yeah, see, I guess so. But I mean, it goes to show, like, there's certain parts of the road you don't want to go without somebody who knows the area telling you what to do.
I know the area everywhere.
The area of everywhere. It's just everywhere. All right, here you have some farming going on. It's like ready for some plants. Here we have an example of some rainforest. See, I like some of those nice pictures.
That's an ugly forest.
Ooh, sheesh. What would it say about you?
Don't
Well,
worry.
you know what? You don't make a very good forest either. So there. All
You're
right.
not ready for it, Dave.
Climate's continued. We have the Pacific coastal plain. Of course, this is on the west part. The savanna is common here. The region only receives rain in the summer. Volcanic activity has given fertile soil to the area because of its ash. Nicaragua contains many freshwater lakes that contain sharks and
I need
swordfish.
to Google that.
So climate hazards, tropical storms, and hurricanes are common. And yeah, that just goes to show there actually are a lot of them that
Yep.
make landfall in
There's
that part
freshwater.
of the world, like south of Mexico. And like places like Cuba, when we
We
talk
have
about the
some-
Caribbean, yeah, when they get hit full on by hurricanes all the time.
Mr. Wyman.
Hey, what's up?
We have crocodiles and alligators here that we have to deal with in lakes, but over there they got sharks.
Yeah, freshwater sharks. I
Yeah.
I never really heard of like freshwater sharks being a major problem for people though.
Very full sorry. They're not the best.
Yeah. What is it like? I know that like tiger sharks are salt and freshwater, and they'll go up rivers sometimes. Like and they're dangerous because they're very aggressive. They're like tiger sharks are very
Like
aggressive.
tiger sharks, great whites, and bull sharks are the.
Yeah, bull sharks.
Oh, that's considered as travel.
All right, I think this is Nicaragua.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
a big
Nicaragua.
plane.
Yeah, you got Honduras, Nicaragua, and Costa Rica. And so here we got a picture of it. Nice lakes, stuff like that.
That's Medley Lake.
Oh,
The biggest lake in Central
Well, you're
America.
not a great looking lake yourself.
That's nice.
Neat. Yeah, that's picturesque.
Sawfish.
Michael's a good looking lake.
Okay. All right.
You know,
people
Mike,
culture.
I don't know if you remember him, do you? Mike Clippard.
I don't know who that is. I'm sure it's a real person. All right. People and culture. Mountains have made communication throughout the area difficult. Indians. So there's a lot of Native Americans within this part of the world. Half the population of Guatemala are Native people. In fact, a lot of them don't even speak Spanish. A lot of them speak native Mayan dialects.
Hello.
Europeans and mestizos, remember we talked about those. Europeans began settling here in the 1500s after the Spanish conquest. Yeah. Spanish is the official language of most of Central America. 90% of Costa Ricans do have European descent. Most of El Salvador and Nicaragua, however, are mestizo.
The saviors of these of the
Nicaragua is a long run.
Most of the dialects you can sort of understand some of the words.
The newest
Because I've heard some of it. I know people.
Okay, I remember I had the first school I worked for. Our assistant principal, she spoke really good Spanish, right? But and she I think she grew up in Mexico and she came to Texas, and she was just kind of like confused because we had some students coming in who from like south part of Mexico who didn't speak Spanish. They spoke like Indian languages, and she was just like, I don't know what they're saying. So we couldn't even find translators for him because it was
said
hard.
that. She said you had to learn English and Spanish.
Oh man,
Because you spoke in dialect.
wow, that must have been hard because it's like I'm sure it was good like where he was from, but like everywhere else that would have been hard. Jaden, back to your seat.
Kristen, is your Mexican uncle cool?
My
Jaden.
Mexican uncle.
Jaden, come on, I'll let you up in a bit. Right up there.
Okay.
Mexican uncle.
All right, folks. So people and culture continued. African desert. I think they meant to say American desert. I don't think an
That's his
African.
descent. Like from African descent.
Oh, African descent. Gosh, there's my reading comprehension. I actually am dyslexic, so I do have an excuse. All right, many Central Americans descend from African slaves brought in the area by 1500s. Many people of African descent migrated from the Caribbean islands in the 1900s to work on plantations. And of course, that's actually true. A lot of the African slavery that came into like Latin America started in the Caribbean. But a lot of the slavery that was in, of course, North America too, also came from the Caribbean. Because what they used to do in the Atlantic slave trade is you would have African tribes war with and capture other Africans. And then they would sell them to people like the Portuguese on the West African coast. they bring them to the Caribbean and sell them to plantation owners there, where they went through something called the seasoning period. And they would work them very hard, basically to see if they survived. And then they would sell them off either to Latin America or North America. So yeah, that was a pretty common practice. However, when slavery ended, of course, a lot of these places had a lot of people of African descent who would eventually immigrate to other places. Hey. We're not done yet. All right, wealth and poverty. Most people are very poor in these areas. So you have a low per capita income. Most rich are plantation owners of European or mestizo descent. So agriculture is a major source of income here, but that doesn't mean that there's a lot of wealth. Most people of native or African descent are farmers with no land or low-wage laborers. So just because you're a farmer doesn't mean you own the farm, because you might be somebody who works farms, goes from farm to farm as a laborer or working in factories and things like that, though there's not a lot of industry within these areas. Middle class is made up of small landowners and urban industry and service employees. And that goes for most of the world. You're going to find most of your middle income people are either in industry or live in towns, service industries, like education and stuff like that, or law, things, and small landowning, shop owners, stuff like that. Here you go, dude. He's like, why are you taking a picture of me? Don't you see I have a shovel?
One.
Delete.
All right, economic activities. Most Central Americans earn livings by farming. Most live by subsistence farming. So that's farms where you grow what you need, essentially. You might sell a little bit of extra, but you're not doing a cash crop. You're not specializing in one thing. So think about super large garden, right? Small farms grow corn, beans, and squash. And that's actually like in Mexico and even here in North America, a lot of Native Americans call these the Three Sisters. You would grow your corn, your beans, and your squash together because the corn will grow up right and it'll make like a stalk. And the squash will curl around that because, it's a vine. But the vine will also protect the beans that come up and actually put nitrogen back in the soil. So you grow the three together and they actually help each other live. And then you just let them decompose. Then you let them decompose and they refertilize the soil. And it's actually a really, really smart, good, advanced
Do you know I
way to grow.
decompose?
Did we also do that?
Perhaps you will one day. All right. Plantations grow
I
cash
decompose
crops.
flowers.
So here you have a lot of coffee, bananas, cotton, and y'all mentioned other things.
Coffee's good for you.
Yeah, I like me some coffee. I certainly do. These
I
crops
like
account-
Gray.
Huh?
You like Dr. Gray.
I'm like most Americans. Like almost everybody drinks coffee. Like we bleed coffee. All right. These crops account for over half of Central Americans' exports. So, I mean, like I said, it's like extraction industry.
Fun fact, coffee is a drug.
Caffeine.
Yeah, you're thinking about a component of it. Yes, sir.
There is a rapidly flashing green light on the underside if you want. Is that good?
Yeah, it's got like a sensor that's supposed to check your heartbeat, but I wear it kind of loose so the light kind of flashes out. It's supposed to just be hidden.
They call me out of
Don't worry, I'm not dying yet. So here we have some bananas. They're not quite right, but they're almost there. So, I mean, the thing is, it's cozy. Like bananas, are really a miraculous thing because when you think like bananas, like here in America, we have year round, and they have a very short amount of time before they rot. So from like the tree to the boat to the truck to the supermarket to your kitchen, like that has to be a very fast process. They're easily bruised, and so it just goes to show just like how shipping and preservation of these things, it's one of those things like there was a time where nobody could have imagined that kind of shipping it free.
When they're still green and they'll ripen as they grow.
It's true. It's true. All right. Political conflict. Lack of farmland to feed the growing population. So yeah, we do have a growing population, and guess what? That's instability. Especially if there's not work, not education, not a meaning. It's bad. The unequal distribution of land has led to conflicts. Many distribution of land, much redistribution of land is favoring the rich. And a lot of times you find this in Latin American countries where it could be, you'll have people have issues over housing, over money, broken economy, government corruption. That can be a big problem for a lot of people. People opposing these plans have started guerrilla groups. And so, yeah, there's guerrilla groups of all kinds of spectrums. Often these fighters and stuff like that, they have a political slant, but they also might be involved with illegal activities everywhere from like assassinations,
Sounds nice.
kidnapping. Well, I don't know about that. Hey, Jody, you got to close that Chromebook.
We're looking at pesos.
Yeah, but look, when I say close it, I want people to keep them closed. All right.
Actually, my brother was telling me that his grandpa and my grandpa were in two different armies. One of them was in the guerrilla, one was in like the El Salvador's army.
Okay.
So the families hated each other.
I can see that. Yeah, I have family that was on both sides of the Civil War, and I'm sure they were probably like, in fact, my grandmother
It's
said,
like family trying to kill each other.
my grandmother says we had like great uncles that are buried next to each other, and one died in the Union Army, the other died in Confederate, and they're buried next to each other. I think somewhere in like New Somerville.
Yeah, my dad, grandpa's running away from the government because
Yeah.
I think he was in the guerrilla. And yeah.
Well, I'm sure he has reasons. All right, so I think we're gonna be able to finish this. I don't know.
Yes, they had a war over soccer.
I didn't know
Yes,
that.
Actually, that did happen. There was a war over soccer.
Yeah, they had a war over soccer. El Salvador.
There's been like many wars over soccer. One was because
Yeah.
they lost. So
That's-
they were mad and they declared war on the other country.
See, that's the thing. Like me, I grew up here in East Texas, right? And like I never really paid attention to soccer. It wasn't really my thing. But I remember when I was stationed in Italy, we were told never ever go to the soccer matches because like sometimes there'd be like a riot afterwards, and they just started like breaking the shops and stuff like that,
Yeah,
attacking.
so there was a war like right in the middle of the soccer. The soccer game hadn't even ended, and they started a war on each other.
No, the war was, Honduras was ejecting El Salvadorian immigrants.
Mm.
And El Salvador deported France.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, I know that's one problem El Salvador has right now is they got like a lot of people, like a lot, and they have a lot of population pressure, right? Because there's not a lot of work. Yeah, I've heard that too. Like there's a lot of gang problems.
We
Gangbangers.
did research on that, and the reason is when the MS-13 started in Los Angeles, they started
MS-13
deporting all
almost
of those
for me is
people
gang.
to El Salvador because most of them were Salvadorian gangsters. So that's why they started getting so many people deported there. So that's controlled by gangsters.
Yeah, that's.
You know the
I wouldn't want
MS-13
that.
is the most friendliest gang.
There's
I've heard they're pretty violent.
there's a group.
Yeah, they're one of those.
that I
They're one of
really
those
like.
violent.
They weren't that
I forgot their
violent,
name,
actually.
but there's a Kalani group that brutally murders gang members in cartel.
I really don't for their
Well, I
gang.
mean, they say that's true for a lot of these organizations. Like a lot of like the '80s gangs, like the Crips and the Bloods. I think they started out as kind of like more like a local neighborhood kind of group, and then eventually they got more violent and tied to drugs and stuff. Like he was talking about that one started out as kind of not as bad. Hey, folks.
This rapper.
I think we're going to end on that note today, and we will pick up on political conflict in Central America next time. Make sure you have your project in tomorrow and all that good stuff. And don't forget your EOCs next week, huh? Good luck with that.
Where's this rap?